Welcome back to LEGO by the Book. I'm Captain Xavier, and today I'm going to be building a set I am really quite excited about. This is set 40580, the Blacktron Cruiser. This was the gift with purchase for New Year's 2023, and oh, it makes me happy. Blacktron has always been my favorite series. I loved the color, I loved the look, I loved the design, loved it all. And so for them to come out with a Blacktron 1 gift with purchase just makes me so very happy. And it gave me a great excuse to buy a lot of LEGO. We'll be getting into the rest of that eventually. Like the previous Forestman gift with purchase, this was a remake of an older set. It's a remake of this set, which was set 6894, the Blacktron Vader from 1987. And I already have a video on this one, so you can go watch that if you want. And yeah, so I'm going to build this one, and then we will compare the two. And I may make some changes to this one. I may or may not. We shall see. So, let's get this thing open and build it. Well, first we have our Minion. Before I put them entirely together, they've done something that wasn't previously there. They put printing on the back. They did not used to have printing on the back. The front printing looks exactly the same as the old one, as far as I can tell. Let's pull this old one out here. And, oh. Yep, it's exactly the same. Just not as faded. Okay, let's finish putting them together. That's kind of interesting. They gave him just a classic smiley head. Like the Forestman, I think, got different, newer heads, and they definitely did in like the 90th anniversary castle. So interesting that they gave him. The back part is completely covered by the air tank, so kind of silly. All right, let's build this set. Right, I got done with the first part and realized I was wearing the wrong shirt. I have corrected this error. Anyway, I finished the first section, which is the cockpit, which does detach like the old ones did, which is pretty nifty. We can now compare it to the cockpit of the original. It is decidedly more sleek, very svelte, long, angular, dangerous, neat looking, pretty cool. It does not use the same connection system, so this one will not connect to the old ones, and that's one thing I might change if it's possible. It might not be possible. Things might not line up. Anyway, the wings do flip open like they did on the old one, but they don't go all the way back. They lock in that position, which is still pretty cool looking. Makes for a neat angular fighter look. The old one, the wings went further back when it was disconnected. It's not connected to anything. It would actually go slightly beyond level, which would have been, right there. But yeah, pretty neat. This one had a storage compartment in the back here, had control panels and all of that. That was pretty neat, had the little lasery looking things. This one has pretty much all the same features. We have our cockpit. He's got a neat looking reticle heads-up display looking thing, a control panel with the Galaxy Explorer on it, which is neat. We do have a tool up here that is not easy to get out. It's kind of a fling it about. A metal detector looking thing, though the new ones don't have a stud in the middle of it. They used to have a stud and you could connect things to it, and they're actually space sets that will only work if you have that, so it's kind of odd that it doesn't, but they have it stored up there on the front. That's neat. Long, svelte cockpit canopy from the we first saw it in the Buzz Lightyear sets. And because it was in the bag with other parts, mine already has a significant scratch in the middle. I don't know if you can see that, but I think it gives it character. The old ones are always severely beaten up. So yeah. Anyway, there's the first part. Let's move on to the second part. Right, Swamp Cat informed me it was in fact past my dinner time, so I went and I got food, and I'm back now. I'm almost done. And the usual plethora of spare parts. We have a box with ingots, black ingots. Not sure what the ingots are, but apparently it's what the Blacktron fellows are after. Must be valuable. Anyway, that goes in there. And then, presumably this goes in here. Very good. We can now compare this to the original midsection. This all closes up. Now that. Here's the original. Obviously, a little bit different. They did keep the stripe pattern there. I do like that. This also opened up, and inside was a droid. We have not gotten to the droid yet, but and then closed. This one opens up a little bit fancier, like that. And there was also a spot for a droid, but like I said, we haven't gotten to the droid yet. So, yeah, I dig it. And it, of course, connects to the cockpit. So we're that far into it. This connected to that one. So there we have it. So far, very svelte. I like that. Let's carry on. Last box. Bags. Bags. We have the new droid, which is very similar to the old droid. Still has a lean, though it's a different, it's created differently. So they are, interesting. Interesting. This one is articulated side to side. This one can't do that. Very cool. And there's the next section where we've got kind of our solar panel looking things. Of another Blacktron logo in a place that there wasn't previously one, and I think that's pretty cool. We can compare that to the previous one, which rather than having which had big transparent pieces, whereas these are tiles put on black versions of that, and then I don't know how I feel about that. It's shinier for sure, but you know, had to update it somehow, I guess, and that's how they decided to do it. So can't say that I don't like it. We can see them now attached. And that is looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. This one is, the new one is already longer, and there is in fact a little bit more. You notice this has a tail back here, and this one doesn't yet, and there are still parts. So I'm gonna keep building, I guess. They have the usual plethora of spare parts, and there ended up being 2 additional pieces back here. The fins, this was a separate piece, and then the engine was a separate piece, and it's very, very similar to the fin and engine on this one. This one looks like it's missing its little red dish. I'll have to see if I can find one. But, yeah. So that's something that the previous one didn't have, but they do still come apart in all the same places, and you can therefore reconnect things. And so you could put just the engine and the tail onto the cockpit, and it could have its own little engine and tail and be able to fly normally, or you can connect the solar panel section with the engine and the fin, and have that as its own little ship, which is actually a pretty cool looking one all by itself. We can do that with this as well. Flip the wings out. Yeah, interesting. On this one, the wings get in the way of the front 2 fins. But, you know, we can do that. Looks fine. Yeah. Pretty svelte. Then we have our mid-section that we can put our robot in. We have some extra red pips. I'm going to give him an angry central eye. Meh. Because why not? I could put all sorts of extra parts on. I got a whole bunch of little greebles. I'll stick with that. We'll put him back here where he can beep boop on the buttons. Because there were buttons back here. Well, he's gotta lie down if he wants to fit back here, I guess. Anyway, meh. Pretty nifty. Now the question is, are there any significant changes I wish to make? Well, there are a couple of things where, like, that's an odd design choice. The canopy choice. The canopy choice. This long, narrow canopy going to this same style front doesn't kind of fit, in my opinion, because you end up with a bunch of studs kind of loose here. So I'm gonna try something and see how it looks and decide if I want to do it. I'm gonna have to go scrounge up a couple of parts. And there's my first idea, and amazingly, it fits perfectly. So I took the doubled canopy, this canopy which you first came, as far as I know, on the Batrax, which was a classic Blacktron set, and so I've added that, which has then allowed me to make it a dual cockpit. Still have the original reticle thingy there, just added more room, got rid of the housing for that and just added another seat. Was able to get everything still secured and fastened. I also, in doing that, took out the parts that were preventing this from closing all the way, and even though it is very, very minor, it makes a big difference to me. I replaced a pair of these parts that were in there with those grill pieces, and I think it's an improvement. So, yeah, it also definitely fits in with the old look a little bit more. It definitely doesn't feel as svelte on account of not having that really super svelte cockpit, that long, narrow cockpit. But I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it looks better this way, where, you know, it's no longer having that weird studs showing there on the canopy? I like it. I don't know. Part of the problem I'm running into now is I don't know where to put this. My classic space section is completely full. I will find a way, or I will make a way. This is going in there somewhere. But yeah, let me know what you think of that canopy upgrade, whether you think that looks good or not. I will almost certainly build something to use this in Blacktron, maybe a small one-man fighter of some kind, because it is a very svelte-looking cockpit. I just didn't like how it fit with that nose piece. I'd have to come up with some other kind of... That would have been the other option, would be to find a way to redesign the nose to better fit this canopy, but I don't think I had a piece that fit well with. I'd have to look at the Buzz Lightyear set and see if I can get any ideas on how to make something that has that taper. Anyway, let me know. Let me know what you think. This was a fun set. I'm super excited for more of this nostalgic stuff. If they keep making it, they will keep getting my money, and I'm okay with that. So there it is. Anyway, thank you for watching. I have to put it back to its original configuration so I can get a picture of the thumbnail.